Hey everyone, welcome back to Neonatas. We are on episode 13, and in this podcast episode, we will be talking about what success means to me and redefining the goalpost. So, just a few updates before we get started. This is something that I'm starting to do literally in every podcast. I'm happy to announce that the house plans are successfully moving along at the moment. So that means that hopefully we can move into our new house soon and not never. I've also currently moved my coach in marketing over to Instagram instead of LinkedIn to see whether that would create more leads for me compared to LinkedIn. I feel like LinkedIn is a much more experienced place to put marketing when you've had a few leads, when you know what you're talking about, and it's not for new coaches. But obviously I had to learn that for myself, so I kind of marketed on there for about a month before I decided to give up and pursue something else. I'm currently considering TikTok as well because I can just post the reels from my Instagram over to there and maybe even add a few more. I'm thinking of adding maybe one from each podcast on my Instagram, or maybe, I don't know, maybe two sections from each, and then instead I can post like 3 times a day on TikTok. I don't know, I'm just making more work for myself at the minute. We'll see how that goes. And I also want to create some coaching platforms for myself on places like Fiverr, Upwork, and People Per Hour. So that is something I'm going to really focus on this coming week to get those up and running, make sure that they look really professional and the way that I want them. I'm trying to find new ways to get customers because obviously it's very hard starting off compared to a really seasoned coach. And if you do want also a digital commission from me, then please check out my Patreon, which is in the lower left side of the screen, where you can find digital commissions that you can submit to me, and I can give you a digital video back on what I suggest you to do and things like that. Although if you do just want to generally support my channel, then please go check out my Patreon again and select the general support option. It doesn't give you anything, but it does give me and my channel the motivation to keep going and keep us afloat. So some of my recent wins and lessons learnt is that the best person to trust in life is yourself. Sometimes you don't even feel that way, or other people don't feel that way about something that you're doing. But I can assure you, throughout this house process and throughout this health journey process, the only person that I've been able to trust fully is myself, because everyone else is just not doing what I expected them to do. Like in the doctors, they're telling me that this isn't the place that I need to go to. Where else am I meant to go? And they're taking so long for something that I'm so scared about and I really want to get checked out so that it doesn't progress further. But you know what doctors are like, especially in the UK. And it's kind of the same in work as well. I've been given all this work and now they trust me to get it done. So me believing in myself and having the confidence to reach out to other people, maybe even people higher than me in my job, to organise something, and I just have to take control and have the initiative to trust myself on what I'm doing is right. So yeah, any challenges? I think I just pretty much explained those. The challenges are just relying on other people for things, to be honest. It's really difficult. And also another thing is time frames. I'm working to such tight time frames at the moment in my job. I'm also working to tight time frames in the house. I want things to be quick in the doctors for health purposes, and I also am currently struggling with getting everything done in terms of what I want to do with coaching every week, but that's just my fault though, and so I really need to work on how this looks and really trying to spread it out throughout the week or throughout the 2 weekend days, because I was so busy yesterday. That didn't really happen. Oh, we watched a movie called Nerja yesterday, Nerja 2, and it was like in Chinese and dubbed in English. It was really good, but one little thing is that I've never seen, because I'm in the UK obviously and is a Chinese film, the cinema was like full of Chinese people apart from me and this one other guy, and I have never ever seen so many people taking out their phones and just texting in the middle of the film or taking photos. I was like shook. Anyways, moving on. So now I'm gonna speak about what success traditionally means in terms of societal expectations and how everyone thinks that you should live. To me, I think that society's views on success is having the most money that you possibly can, being rich, having a successful career or having a stable career, which means that you have a job for life until you decide to retire. I think also with money, it's not even, I don't even think it these days is like being rich, whereas having enough money to have a stable income, I would say. I wouldn't even say that it's to do with the amount of money anymore. And just achieving like milestones such as being in a relationship, having a boyfriend, having a fiance, getting engaged, getting married, having children, buying a house, getting a promotion. What else? Having a grandchild if you want to get that far up. Or being self-employed, and that's all great, but this doesn't mean that you have to adhere to it. This just means that this is what society has built for you to believe that this is what you need to earn, but that's so not the case. And I just wish that people were a bit kinder and a bit more considerate about this, because even though that's what success traditionally means, it doesn't mean that you have to want that. This is why success is personal and subjective to each person. Like, to me, success doesn't really mean anything other than me getting my end goal in life, and my end goal is literally just a small holding. I say just a small holding where I'm self-employed. I have my own time. It's basically financial freedom. I just want to be able to afford a nice place to live, be self-employed so I have all the time in the world, well-travelled, and with pets. I just want to look after pets. I want to rescue pets. I want the company of pets. I want, like, the connection with animals, and that's me done. Anything that comes with this is just a plus. And even university, I thought that at that time, I thought that that was the way that I was going to be successful. I was going to go to Hartbury Uni, and I was going to be a horse vet, which means that I'd have a lot of money. I'd be with horses all day, every day, and I would, be able to have a horse, because I stuck with horse riding, and I'd be able to afford a horse being a vet, and I'd know how to take care of it, which would save money. But that didn't happen, and I think my expectations of success now is just to make sure that I'm happy at any point in my life, or as happy as I can be, and on the track that's closest to me getting what it is that I want in the future. I think I used to put a lot of pressure on myself, especially during the time where I was still in school and college, not university. But in school and college, I had so much academic pressure put on by myself, not even my parents. Obviously, my parents wanted me to do well, but thankfully, my parents were the type of people that were like, my mum was like, try your best. My dad was more like, how can you be so stupid if I didn't get the grades? Because, like, I don't feel like he pushed me in the wrong way. I think he just had an expectation because he knew that I was going to do well in school, you know. But I was very pressured to do well, so I came out with GCSEs, and then I thought, oh my god, yes, this is it, this is me, I'm successful now, I can relax, when actually A-levels absolutely punched me in the face, where I lost my success for myself. And the next thing that I focused on after that was travelling and going to Korea and getting into university to be able to enjoy Korea. So then success looked like getting a job where I can go and live in Asia for a bit. And that soon got shot down by COVID because my year abroad didn't happen due to a family member being ill and obviously things being shut down for a few years. So I think that it would have been a difficult time in Korea anyway. And by that time as well, that would have been my third year, I'd kind of grown sick and tired of that degree. So in the third year, should I say, it was meant to be the fourth year, but as I didn't go away as the third year, I went back into horse riding in the second year because I missed it. So then I found success in that because that was just something that I enjoyed in the meantime of being in university. I had friends, I had a good lot of friends in university, and I was getting through my degree anyway, which was what success looked like at that time for me. And then I decided that I didn't want to do Asia Pacific anymore, so I started transitioning over to business by doing a business module in my third year of university to prepare for a master's called Business Strategy and Entrepreneurship. And so I successfully graduated with a first within my undergraduate degree, and then I managed to get onto my master's, but that also meant that I could come home and live at home while I did my master's. And I felt a lot of success in this because it was something that I really enjoyed, something that really felt like my life purpose, which was to do with business strategy and being an entrepreneur. Why can't I say that word? Anyway, self-employed. Or like a business owner, you know? And so then I was like, well, this is it. This is me. I finally found it. And then I finished it. Couldn't find a job, so the job that I'm currently in was one of the ones that I was like, well, it's a bank, so it's good and it's successful, so I'll just go in here for the time being until I work out what my next move is. And I suppose that's where I am now, but while being in this job, I really don't think that success for me is career-based at all. I think success at the moment is me utilising my time outside of work to get me where I'm meant to be, or I feel like I'm meant to be. Success is also having a very good relationship with my partner and moving on to the property ladder now. Like I said, having a house is not something that everyone wants, and that's completely fine. But for us, I think my success is based on that because it's an asset. It's an expensive asset, but it's an asset nonetheless. That could be argued by the guy who wrote Rich Dad Poor Dad. Is it Robert Kiyosaki or something like that? I think he would argue with me there, but I truly believe that that's so. And I think that even if I don't get where I want to be in life, I will still be happy, because in the meantime I do make a lot of memories with my family and friends and my partner and myself by trying new things, finding new things to do in my time. I'm very busy, I keep myself busy, and to me that's successful because I'm making the most of all the time that I have here on this earth. This has obviously changed over time, because I think as a child your mindset is very based on what your parents want of you or expect of you, or what you want to do in terms of your parents' expectations. So like I said, mine was very based on my parents' expectations of me to do well, to be the vet that I told them that I wanted to be. And always, my dad used to tell me, if you're going to do something, do it to the best of your ability, otherwise there's no point in doing it at all. And that is such a perfectionist view, but that is how I've been brought up. So everything that I do, I still try my best at it. And to be honest, when up until I got to my A-levels, I think that I can say that I tried my best for all of my GCSEs and things like that. But if I could go back in time, I would try harder for my A-levels. I just think that something didn't click, and I don't know if that's to do with how my brain understands the information from the A-levels, or maybe I didn't try hard enough, but it really was a struggle for me. And another thing that I want to do as well that I think will make me successful, I enjoy progression-based things. So I'm looking currently to do my ACCA exams. Oh, that's another update. I have figured out which one I want to do, and it's my ACCAs. And I'm thinking of doing them after I've moved into our house. And hopefully that could mean that I am going places with my career for the time being, to become self-employed as I want to. And I think success to me as well is opening as many paths as possible and pursuing as many paths as possible to get where I need to be, or to get where I want to be in life. I think I just repeated myself very well. So yeah, my early views of success was very on point, and I lived up to them, but then in my A-levels I wish that I did work harder, but I suppose that wouldn't have brought me here, so I have no regrets. I just think that I could have worked harder. The turning point that made me rethink what success means was probably at that point in A-level, because I was like, well, I need to accept that I'm not going to be going to the college that I want to. I'm obviously not smart enough, or I'm just not good enough at A-levels to do that. However, that doesn't mean that that should be the only avenue that I need to go down to be able to get the outcome in life that I want. So I just decided that I was going to try something that I enjoyed in the moment, and that is how I'm going to live. As long as I'm happy in this moment, as well as making considerations on how I'm going to get to my future, then that's all I can do for myself. And yeah, I think that I definitely lived that. I enjoyed uni. I made forever friends. I got through COVID. I came out of my degree with a first. What could I have done differently? Not much, to be honest. So I think success now means, instead of just getting everything right the first time, is successfully finding other ways to get something that you want and not giving up. I think that career-wise, success means to me that I enjoy what I do and I get out of my career what I need to be able to get to where I want to be. At the moment, I think that my current role in my job has given me a lot of action points for my own personal growth, and it's giving me obviously the opportunity to be able to fund buying a house, fund my monthly costs, and give me stability. But this stability isn't something that I want forever. I want to grow the amount of money that I earn so that I can be even more stable, but also learn skills to transition into self-employment eventually. And I don't think that this current role is where I need to be for that, which is why I'm going to start doing my ACCA qualifications soon. That also gives me some more success, whereas my role doesn't. Because I'm not moving in my current role, then I don't feel like I'm progressing. I'm very visual, so if I don't see it, then it's not happening in my head. So by doing my ACCAs, I think that it'll give me the visualization of being able to say that I'm on the move and I'm progressing and I'm getting better at something while going through my levels. I'm going to have to work really hard on that, so I don't know how that's going to look yet, but I'm quite excited. Probably going to have to slow down on the coaching and the gaming again. And in terms of relationships, I think success is just having the people in your life that bring joy to it and bring motivation and bring success, whether that's networking, so they give you some basically that they help you with moving towards your end goal, whether that's through support, through input, because they might be a beneficial person to know, and just making sure that they provide you with love and positivity instead of bringing you down and making you doubt yourself. I literally cannot speak about my friends and family and boyfriend enough about this, because literally every day my partner reminds me of how able I am to get the life that I want. And the same with my family as well. They're always there to support me. They're always there to give me a good word, especially my mum and my stepdad as well, where they just say that they know if I put my mind to anything that I can do it. And in a way, instead of giving yourself affirmations, it's like other people are giving you affirmations, and it builds up the good feeling and the good energy that you have in your body. And I think that that's so important when it comes to manifestation and the energy that you surround yourself with as well, because the energy you surround yourself with is the energy that's going to be in your body as well eventually. And I think that my friends as well, they always support me with my decisions. They always let me talk it through with them, like Chloe and Jenny with and Sunny as well, with my podcast and my YouTube and my Twitch. They're always there, in the comments, making sure that I'm not by myself, giving me suggestions, giving me support. And I honestly could not want any other people in my life that aren't them, because they're very special to me, and they definitely make sure that I feel supported and energized and motivated, and that I know that I'm doing the right thing for myself. In terms of personal growth, I think success always looks like making sure you're the best version of yourself, whether that's you working on a skill consistently, or whether you're just moving forward in terms of self-awareness. Being very self-aware is very beneficial in terms of success, because you can see what things are holding you back. If any of your mindsets or thoughts are holding you back, and it's always good to develop yourself on something. In terms of comparing your journey to someone else, this can be quite harmful, because if you're not performing to the same standard as them, then you're obviously going to think that you're not good enough. But actually, everyone starts at a different level. Everyone starts at a different time in their life. There is no time too late. There is no time too early. There is no status too low, too high. There's always something to improve on. But it's always about your own journey and what you define as successful, because that other person might be living the life that you want, but they actually might not actually be their end goal. They might be pushing for something else. They might want the complete opposite, but have just happened to fall into this place within their life, and it's not where they want to be, whereas it might be where you want to be. And also, everyone's mind and body works in a different way. Everyone has different standards, different support systems, different starting points. And I just think that to compare yourself is how can you prepare something? I'm going to use such a cliche comparison, but you don't compare flowers to be a certain colour or a certain shape or a certain height. All of them grow in different ways because they're made up of different things. They have different sun expectations, they have different heights, they started at different times, things like that. The soil where they're planted could be different. The people who are looking after them, they might be people, they might not be people, and they just all bloom and they all grow differently, and at different times. You just got to give them time to show their beauty. They will eventually, but it doesn't mean that you should put a time frame on them to show it. So now we're going to talk about how to identify what truly fulfills you. I just want you to think back and think about when you felt the happiest. Where were you? What were you doing? Why did you feel like that? What was happening that made you feel that way? Who were you with? Is there anything that gives you the same feeling? Or was there a different scenario that you felt truly the happiest as well? And what was it about that memory that made you feel that way? Is also thinking about what you used to enjoy doing as a child, the type of hobbies that you had, the type of interests you have. Does that come into your current life? Do you feel the same way? Have you tried? How many things have you tried doing? Are you constantly exploring? Are you constantly meeting new people? Do you have the people around you that you feel like you could tell them when you have an interest? Are they going to support you? What's the next step looking like? And I think it's just finding things that make you happy and striving to surround yourself with those things and those people and that environment where you literally thrive the best, and that you're not burnt out, you're not unhappy, you're not stressed. Stress is alright sometimes, but not too much stress. And that you're being lifted up. I think also the balance between ambition and contentment is good as well. I think being content is fine, but relaxing and remaining in being content and comfortable is not fine, because you're not developing yourself, you're not moving forward, you're not having a life purpose, and you're not doing anything to nurture yourself even more to put you in a better state. I think that's where ambition is very important and should come in. It's like making sure that you have a purpose to move forward with, as well as being content. It's good to like thrive in contentment, but it's also good to come out of that contentment a little bit with your ambitions to see if you can improve any aspect of your life even further. And then I'm going to give you some steps to redefine success based on my own values and priorities. So, number 1, remember that you and your friends have all got different points where you want to end up. You might not have the same opinion on marriage, family, buying a house, buying a new car, traveling, being self-employed. Everyone's happiness and success looks differently. So make sure that you're not comparing yourself to anyone, and really go easy on yourself when it comes to a point that everyone's in different stages of their life, because that part is really difficult sometimes, as it's hard to see other people having something that you don't have. But it's always important to remind yourself in that point that that's not something that you wanted in the first place, and that it's okay not to have something that they have, because it's not important to you. I think also it's okay to see success in different ways, as long as you're moving forward to what you want eventually. Like I said, success is having as many paths as possible to be able to reach my end goal. And I thought when I was younger that I was just going to move to it directly and get it, and that life was going to be perfect. But actually, you don't know what's going to come your way, so it's just being okay and acceptable to obstacles coming into your way. Also, make sure you're putting in time to work on yourself around expectations of others, such as maybe you do a lot of family time, you work, and you have other priorities, maybe such as family, friends, who knows, pets. But make sure that you're spending some of your waking time on yourself, either developing your own skills, working on your interests and hobbies, and really utilising that time to move towards the end goal that you see yourself in. There are some struggles along the way as well, such as dealing with the fear of failure and imposter syndrome. Sometimes you don't feel like it's even you that's living this life on your way to success. But that is okay, and as long as it's a good feeling of imposter syndrome and you're not letting it get you down, then of course imposter syndrome's fine. Because some people, especially me as well, I sometimes need to feel like an imposter to be able to do my job, to just kind of shut off my brain and be like, well, this is new at the moment, this just needs to be done, and you can do it. It's the same as fear of failure. If you're not going to work towards your goals, then you're 100% not going to be able to achieve them. However, if you work little by little towards your goals, you have less than 100% unlikeliness to achieve them. And it's better to have something rather than nothing. There's also going to be external validation and societal pressure. Like I said to you throughout this entire podcast, the importance of having the right people around you and cutting people off if they don't make the cut is so important, but also having the resilience and knowledge of yourself that it's okay to not want the same thing as everyone else. Trust me, it is not. There is no point. There is no one in this world that can ever call themselves 100% successful, because success to everyone looks different. And why would you need to compare yourself to someone whose success might not look the same as yours. This even includes your parents. If your parents have other values within success, because we're all from a different generation as well, we've all had different upbringings, we don't know what one person sees as success compared to us. However, being able to say this to people, being like, well, that's your definition of success and that is okay, but that is not my definition of success. Make sure that you get to a point where you're able to not give in to the societal pressure and pave your own way. I think that this gets easier the more that you do it as well, and the more that you see that people who are, in quotation marks, living successfully also have something that they don't have. Also has something that they don't have, and are all working towards something as well. Even though they have your ideal life, they're still not content. And I think there's something about contentment. I don't feel like everyone or anyone is ever content, and that is important to live in a long, purposeful life. Always find something to work towards and self-improve. It is very important to you and your body to keep going. That's why we've evolved. There's also gratitude and self-reflection. These can shift your success perspective. Is always making sure that every day you're going back and listing 3 things that you're grateful for, because maybe you've made a breakthrough today, maybe you've forgotten the basics, and today you might not have achieved much in terms of moving towards what you deem as successful. However, being grateful for the life that you currently have as well is very important, because it reminds you that you are here, your life is good in some ways, despite it not being the life that you eventually want. And obviously self-reflection is making sure that you know what your strengths and weaknesses are, so that you can work on them to become a more rounded person and be able to learn from your past mistakes and move towards the life that you want eventually. So I'm going to give you some prompts now so that you can redefine your own success. So these are just some actionable steps for you. There's 3 questions I want you to ask yourself. Number 1 is, what does success look like for me in 5 years? Number 2, what brings me the most joy and fulfillment? And number 3, what do I value more? Stability, freedom, impact, or something else? Make sure that you are setting small daily habits as well to align with what you deem as successful and are trying to work on them every single day. It's always better to have small and consistent steps that you make into a habit than things that you just work on from time to time. So now we are at the point where I'm going to answer a question from my subscribers. And Marcus asked, as one who is about to go to college in the fall, how much do you think education would fit into success? I think this completely depends on what you deem as successful. If going to college and getting a specific degree is the only way that you're going to make it to, let's just say, a doctor, a scientist, something like that, psychiatrist, I don't even know, then it would definitely be more success-based than other subjects in college. However, like I said earlier on, there are more ways to achieve something than just one. So make sure that you're defining your success as the end goal and not around the topic of college. If whatever you deem as successful is not just based on getting through college, so let's just say if you want to be, well, take mine for example. I went through university twice. I did an undergraduate and postgraduate, but that both of those do not make me feel any sort of success or progression towards my ultimate dream of having a small holding with horses, because I can earn money anyway. I'm currently in a job that didn't even require any degree at all. So I think if you think education is really important, then that is completely up to you and your own perspective. But I would really suggest that you consider what are the ways that you can achieve what you want in life, just in case as backups, because like I said, I always wanted to be a vet and now I don't. And I think making sure that as well, changing your mind in terms of what you think is successful is okay, which might mean that you think of education highly at the moment, but you might not in years to come. But just do what suits you, do what you see as successful. If that's making loads of friends and using college as a way to network and socialise, then that could be successful in itself. And just try your hardest and just think of success as you working as hard as you possibly could on something. It really doesn't matter about what other people are doing, like I said. It just matters about how you feel you're doing, the amount of work you feel you're putting in, and what you come out with in terms of like things that you've learned while in college. It's not always education based, because college is very important for networking, like I said, learning who you are, self-development. Make sure that you're learning your education style, whether you're a visual learner, kinesthetic learner, auditory learner, things like that. What you want to be, what you want to do, the type of person you want to be, and start cultivating that into your time in college. And just try your best and enjoy. If you think that all of that means that you're successful, congratulations, you're successful. And if it doesn't go the way that you planned, it's okay, because there's always more than one way to get what you want. I currently follow this person on TikTok who went away and worked for a while and then returned back to university to become an equine vet, and I was just like, damn, if only I could do that. But actually I don't want to be a vet anymore. So it's all about changing with the times, changing with how you learn and develop, going back, reflecting on how you used to think, and really challenge the way that you do think as well. I think that's the best way to find yourself, find what you deem as successful, and keep yourself as happy as possible. Also, if you do want to do well in college, please make sure you surround yourself with the right type of people and stay resilient in your own brain, so that you know that you're trying your hardest, that you're giving yourself time to study and things like that. So yeah, I think that is it for today, but thank you for the question as well, Marcus. If you do have any other questions, please let me know down below. And yeah, I think we've spoken about a lot today, all about my definition of success, the traditional definition of success, how this looks, how mine's changed, how this could be harmful, how to redefine it, the struggles along the way, some actionable steps for you lot, and some questions. But I do encourage you to embrace your personal definition of success. That is the most important thing in every person's life. And the more books you read as well, especially like self-help books, autobiographies, you can really see, and the more you speak to people as well, the more you can really see how different we all are and how little you have to worry about comparing yourself to others. Just because someone is acting or doing a certain thing in their life doesn't mean you have to do it too, unless you really want to. So here's a challenge for you. Define success in one sentence and share it in the comments below. Other than that, I will leave this here, and I hope you enjoyed this topic, because I certainly did. I could not stop blabbing for a whole 45 minutes. And yeah, if you liked it as well, please think about giving this podcast a like, and please subscribe if you haven't already. Obviously, leave the comments down below on what you thought, how you define success, and if you tried out any of the activities that I mentioned above. Please go and check out my other videos as well. I also have a gaming page which is linked in my bio, and I also have a website, so please go and check that out as well. I'll be back during the week for my coaching corner videos, so please stay tuned for that, and I will see you all next time. Bye everyone.